If you fell into the backrooms right now, be honest, what would you actually have on you? Probably your phone, maybe your keys, maybe a half-dead AirPod case, and whatever random crumbs are living in your pocket. And that is exactly why most people would be cooked. The backrooms is not like a normal survival situation where you can just figure it out after a few hours. There is no gas station around the corner, no friend coming to pick you up, no map app that magically knows where the nearest exit is. You get dropped into a place that does not follow normal rules, and whatever you have on you becomes your entire life. So for this video, we are building the survival kit you would actually want if you got stuck in the backrooms. Some of these items are obvious, some sound boring until you realize they might save your life, and a few are things most people would never think to bring, even though they might be the only reason you stay sane. Also, I know the first thing everybody wants to say is bring a weapon. We will get to that, but spoiler, if your plan is to fight the backrooms, you are already making bad decisions. Welcome back to Backrooms Vault. Let's pack the bag. Before anything else, you need a good backpack. That sounds basic, but this is the item everything else depends on. If your bag is too big, too loud, too heavy, or falling apart, it is going to ruin you fast. A lot of people imagine themselves walking through the backrooms with some giant military backpack full of supplies like they are about to survive the apocalypse. That sounds cool until you're squeezing through a broken doorway and the bag gets stuck. Or you have to run and the thing is bouncing around like a refrigerator strapped to your spine. You want something simple. A medium-sized backpack is probably perfect. Enough space for the important stuff, but not so much that you start packing like you're going on a 3-month camping trip. And please do not bring a backpack covered in loose metal clips, dangling keychains, or anything that jingles every time you move. In the real world, that is just annoying. In the backrooms, that is basically you yelling, "Hey, I am over here." Sound matters a lot in a place like this. Some levels are dead silent, like painfully silent. Every zipper, every wrapper, every water bottle crinkle feels 10 times louder than it should. If something is nearby, you do not want your own backpack snitching on you. The best bag is quiet, light, and organized, because when things go bad, you will not have time to dig through a pile of random junk. You need to know exactly where your flashlight is, exactly where your water is, exactly where your batteries are. If you're panicking in a dark hallway, the last thing you want is to be elbow deep in your backpack trying to figure out where you put the one item that could save you. So yeah, the backpack is boring, but boring is good. Boring keeps you alive. Now we talk about the flashlight. This is probably the first thing most people think of, and honestly fair. Light is huge in the backrooms. Even in a place like level 0, where the lights are technically on, it still feels wrong. Those buzzing fluorescent lights do not make the place feel safe. They make it feel sick. Everything is yellow, flat, and ugly, and somehow the light makes the hallways feel even more empty. Then you get to other levels where the lighting is worse. Sometimes a hallway is half lit. Sometimes one room is bright and the next room looks like someone poured black paint into it. Sometimes the lights flicker like the level is trying to warn you before something shows up. A flashlight gives you control, but only if you use it right. You do not want to walk around blasting light everywhere like you're searching for a lost dog at midnight. That is how you attract attention. Use the flashlight in short bursts. Check the corner, check the floor, check the ceiling if the level feels suspicious. Then turn it off and move. A lot of people forget the ceiling. That is how you get jump scared by something with elbows in the wrong places. Also, never shine your flashlight at something unless you are ready to deal with whatever you reveal. A shadow at the end of the hall might be a stain. It might be a broken chair. It might be a pile of old carpet. But once you put light on it and it moves, now you have a problem. And worse, it knows you saw it. That is the part people forget. Seeing something in the backrooms is not always good. Sometimes the safest thing is leaving before you fully understand what is there. A small flashlight is better than a huge one. You want useful light, not a lighthouse strapped to your hand. And if your flashlight has different brightness modes, keep it low unless you absolutely need more. Bright light feels comforting, but comfort can make you careless. The backrooms loves careless people. A flashlight is only useful while it has power. That is why batteries matter more than people think. You can have the best flashlight on Earth, but if it dies while the lights are flickering and something is walking behind you, congratulations, you now own a very expensive stick. Bring backup batteries. Keep them in a small pouch, not loose at the bottom of your bag like a goblin's junk drawer. You should be able to find them by touch. That sounds dramatic until you imagine being in complete darkness with your hands shaking, trying to figure out whether you grabbed batteries, a snack wrapper, or a random rock you forgot you picked up. Organization is survival. Also, do not waste battery just because being in the dark feels uncomfortable. That fear is real, but you have to manage it. Use light when you need information. Do I have a path forward? Is the room safe enough to rest? Is there something on the floor? Is that door actually a door? If the flashlight is only making you feel better, ask yourself if it is worth the battery. Sometimes it is. You are still human. You cannot just walk through endless darkness and pretend your brain is fine. But if you burn through all your power in the first few hours because you did not want to feel scared, the backrooms will make you pay for it later, and it always charges interest. A marker or chalk might be one of the best items you can bring. The backrooms messes with your sense of direction immediately. Level 0 is famous for this. Everything looks close to the same. Same wallpaper, same carpet, same lights, same office, like nothingness stretching forever. After a while, your brain starts filling in blanks. You think you recognize a hallway. You think you passed that stain before. You think the buzzing got louder, but maybe you are just tired. Then suddenly you are walking in circles and you do not even know when it started. That is why you mark your path. A tiny arrow near the floor, a line on the wall, a number by a doorway. Something simple enough to do quickly, but clear enough that future you understands it. Do not make the marks huge. Do not draw giant arrows like you are decorating a school hallway. Small marks are better. You want a system that helps you without basically making a trail for anything else nearby. If another wanderer finds your marks, fine. Maybe it helps them. But if something smarter than a wanderer finds them, that is where things get uncomfortable. Imagine following your own markings for 20 minutes, then noticing one of the arrows is written slightly wrong. Same color, same general shape, but just off. That is when you stop following the arrows. That is also when you stop pretending you are the only one using your system. A good marking system should be simple. One line means you came from there. 2 lines means empty room. An X means do not go in. A circle means you found supplies. A circle with a slash means you heard something nearby. Keep it basic. You are not inventing a new language. You are trying to survive while sleep-deprived and scared. And here is the rule. If you find one of your marks in a place you know you have never been, leave. No detective work. No, wait, how is that possible? No standing there staring at it. Just go. The Backrooms does weird stuff all the time, and curiosity is one of the easiest ways to die. Rope sounds like the item people only bring because they saw it in a survival movie. But in the Backrooms, rope is actually useful. You might need to climb down into a maintenance tunnel. You might need to lower your backpack through a hole before crawling after it. You might need to tie a door shut for 10 minutes so you can rest. You might need to pull someone out of water. There are so many weird situations where rope goes from extra item to, I am so glad I have this. It is also useful if you're traveling with someone. The Backrooms has a nasty habit of separating people. You walk through a doorway, turn around, and the person behind you is gone. No scream. No sound, no big dramatic moment, just gone. A rope between 2 people might feel awkward, but awkward is better than losing someone in a hallway that keeps changing. That being said, do not tie yourself to someone unless you fully trust them, and I do mean fully. Because if the person behind you starts acting strange, walking too slowly, refusing to answer, or pulling you toward a hallway you know was not there before, being attached to them becomes a serious problem. The same goes for tying rope to random objects. That pipe might look sturdy, but this is the Backrooms. For all you know, the pipe moves when you are not looking. That door handle might seem solid until something on the other side pulls back. Use rope carefully. It is a tool. Do not let it turn into a leash. First aid kit is one of those things people ignore because it does not feel exciting. But realistically, a small injury could ruin your entire chance of survival. A cut is not just a cut when every surface around you looks damp, stained, rusty, or older than it should be. A blister is not just a blister when you might have to walk for hours straight. A twisted ankle is not just annoying when the nearest safe place may or may not exist. Backrooms does not need to send an entity after you if your own body starts breaking down. That is the scary part. People imagine getting chased by monsters, but a lot of survival problems are way more boring than that. You get tired. You get thirsty, your feet hurt, your hand gets cut on a broken door. You ignore it because you are scared and in a hurry. Then it gets worse. Bring bandages, antiseptic wipes, gauze, medical tape, pain reliever, and something for blisters. Nothing fancy. Just the basic stuff that keeps small problems from turning into disasters. And do not try to act tough. If you're hurt, deal with it as soon as it is safe. This is not a movie where the main character gets stabbed and keeps sprinting for 40 minutes. In the Backrooms, ignoring pain is how you become slower, louder, weaker, and easier to catch. Survival is not about looking brave. It is about staying functional. Now we have to talk about Almond Water. If you know Backrooms lore, you already know this is one of the most important supplies a wanderer can find. Almond Water can help with hydration, and in a lot of versions of the lore, it helps keep your mind stable too. That matters because the Backrooms does not only attack you physically. The place wears you down mentally. The buzzing lights, the repeating hallways, the feeling that you have been walking for hours without making progress, the voices that sound almost familiar. After long enough, you start needing something that keeps you grounded. Almond Water is valuable, which also means you should be careful every time you find it. If you see a bottle sitting alone in the middle of a hallway, do not sprint toward it like a Minecraft villager seeing emeralds. Stop and look around. Why is it there? Did someone drop it? Was it placed there? Is it sealed? Does the label look normal? Is the liquid clear? Does it smell right? And the biggest red flag, does it have your name on it? Because if the Backrooms is handing you a drink with your name already written on the bottle, that is not a gift. That is the place proving it knows you. Leave it alone. Same thing if the bottle looks too perfect, too clean, too centered, too obvious. The Backrooms has bait. Maybe not in every level, maybe not every time, but enough that you should never trust a free item sitting in the open. If you already have almond water, ration it. Do not drink it every time you feel uncomfortable. Save it for when you actually need it. Fear makes people waste supplies. They eat because they are nervous. They drink because they want comfort. They keep the flashlight on because the dark feels awful. All of that makes sense emotionally. But the Backrooms does not care that you were scared. When you run out, you run out. You need food, but you need the right kind of food. Do not bring anything loud, messy, or smelly. This is not the place for a family-sized bag of chips that sounds like a car crash every time you touch it. You want small, sealed snacks that actually give you energy. Protein bars, crackers, jerky, trail mix, stuff like that. Nothing that needs cooking, nothing that leaks, nothing that makes your backpack smell like a gas station hot dog. Food smells can matter. You do not know what is nearby, and you definitely do not know how it hunts. Also, eating in the Backrooms should be treated like a risk. Find a quiet spot. Listen first. Eat quickly, but do not rush so much that you choke or make a mess. Pack your trash. Do not leave wrappers everywhere unless you want to build a breadcrumb trail for whatever comes through later. And do not take food from random rooms just because it looks normal. That is how level fun gets people. A table full of cake, candy, balloons, and party cups might seem harmless at first. Honestly, if you have been starving for a day, it might even look beautiful. That is the trap. Food in the Backrooms can be bait, poison, or something worse than both. If you find a birthday cake in a place where no birthday should exist, leave it alone. If the frosting has your name on it, leave faster. And if a partygoer offers you a plate, you better hope you already have snacks in your bag, because that is not hospitality. That is a menu. A notebook is not just for writing dramatic final messages, although let's be real, a lot of Backrooms notebooks probably end that way. A notebook helps you track patterns, and patterns are everything. The Backrooms might look random, but a lot of levels have rules. Maybe the lights flicker before something appears. Maybe certain doors loop back unless you enter them backwards. Maybe the smell of chlorine means you are close to the pool rooms. Maybe the buzzing stops when something is nearby. You will not remember all of that perfectly, especially after hours without sleep. Write things down, where you went, what you heard, which rooms felt safe, which doors changed, what supplies you found, what markings you left, how long you think you have been walking. That last one matters because time can get weird. Even if the clock still works, your brain might not. Writing things down gives you something solid to come back to. It also helps you stay sane. There is something about putting words on a page that reminds you, okay, I'm still thinking, I'm still making choices, I'm still me. That matters more than people realize. But obviously, because this is the Backrooms, even the notebook can get creepy. If you open it and find writing you do not remember putting there, do not read it out loud. Seriously, no horror movie behavior. Do not read the mysterious sentence. Do not answer any question written in the margins. Do not keep flipping pages like, that is weird. Close it, put it away. And if the writing starts copying your handwriting, that notebook is no longer fully yours. Your phone is useful, but it is also a problem. In normal life, your phone is basically an extra organ. You use it for directions, messages, photos, notes, entertainment, everything. In the Backrooms, some of that still helps. You can use the camera to document rooms. You can use notes if you do not have a notebook. You can use the flashlight as a backup. You can record audio if you are trying to figure out what you heard, but your phone can also mess with you badly. Because at some point it might ring, and if it rings in the Backrooms, that should not make you feel relieved. That should make your stomach drop. Maybe the screen says mom, maybe it says your best friend, maybe it says your own number, maybe it says no caller ID. And when you answer, the voice might sound perfect. It might say exactly what you want to hear. It might cry. It might say it found an exit. It might tell you to go down the hallway with the red light. That is how they get you. Backrooms loves using familiar things in unfamiliar places. A familiar voice can make you stupid fast. So if your phone rings, do not instantly answer. Look around first. Listen to the room. Check whether the call even makes sense. And if the person on the other end tells you to go somewhere, do not obey just because the voice feels familiar. You can use your phone, but do not trust it completely. Turn off loud notifications. Save battery. Do not play music unless you are in a safe zone. Do not keep checking it every 30 seconds hoping the real world comes back. That screen can become a comfort trap. And in the Backrooms, comfort is usually where the danger starts. Alright, now the one everyone wants. Should you bring a weapon? Maybe, but it depends what you mean by weapon. If you mean something practical that can help you break glass, pry something open, keep distance, or make noise as a distraction, sure, that could be useful. If you mean you are going to walk into the Backrooms ready to square up with entities, that is insane. This is not a boss fight. You are not loading into a game with a health bar and a dodge button. You are a tired human being in an impossible place where half the threats might not even follow normal biology. A lot of entities are faster than you. Some are stronger, some are smarter, some might not feel pain in a useful way. Some might want you to attack first because that gives them an excuse to stop pretending. A weapon can also make you overconfident, which is dangerous. There is a big difference between I have something to defend myself if I am cornered, and I am going to investigate that noise because I have a knife. That second person is not surviving long. The best survival strategy is still avoidance. Hide if you can, run if you have to, distract if it works, barricade a door if there is time. Fighting should be the last option, not your main plan. Also, think about how other wanderers see you. If you walk into a room gripping a weapon and acting jumpy, nobody is going to think, wow, what a reliable teammate. They are going to think, this person might panic and stab me over a granola bar. So yes, bring a practical defensive tool if you want. Just do not let it turn you into the kind of person other survivors avoid. Clothes matter way more than people think. If you fall into the backrooms wearing bad shoes, you are in trouble immediately. You might be walking for hours, maybe days, maybe longer. Blisters, sore ankles, wet socks, and uncomfortable clothes can break you down fast. It sounds small, but small things stack up. Good shoes are survival gear. Comfortable, broken in, quiet, and sturdy. No slides, no dress shoes, no giant squeaky sneakers that announce every step. No shoes you bought yesterday and have never actually walked in. Your clothes should be comfortable and practical. Layers are useful because some levels are warm, some are freezing, some are damp, and some feel like an abandoned office building where the air conditioning has been broken since 1998. A hoodie is honestly a great item. It can keep you warm, cover your face from dust, block light when you try to sleep, or roll up into a pillow. Avoid anything too bright or noisy. In normal life, a loud jacket is whatever. In the backrooms, sounding like a grocery bag with legs is a terrible idea. And if your clothes get wet, deal with that quickly if you can. Wet clothes slow you down, make you cold, and make everything miserable. The pool rooms might look calm, but walking around soaked for hours is a great way to get weak fast. The backrooms already wants you exhausted. Do not help it. This is one of those things that sounds optional until you actually need another person. Bring something small you can trade, extra batteries, a sealed snack, a pen, tape, a lighter, a tiny first aid item. Anything useful enough that another wanderer might care, but not so important that giving it away ruins you. Because not every threat in the backrooms is an entity. Sometimes the biggest difference between surviving and wandering blindly is information. Another person might know where the safe room is. They might know which hallway loops. They might know which door everyone avoids. They might know what the scratching sound means. Information is currency, but do not be dumb about it. Do not open your backpack and let some stranger see your entire inventory. Do not brag about having almond water. Do not show people where you keep your batteries. Trade carefully. Give a little. Learn a little. And if someone is way too interested in what you have, leave. Desperate people can be dangerous, even if they are human, especially if they are human. The last thing I would bring is something personal. A photo, a bracelet, a keychain, a note, something small that reminds you of your real life. This sounds soft until you really think about what the backrooms does to people. It does not just trap you in a scary place. It wears you down. You lose track of time. You stop sleeping normally. Every hallway starts looking the same. You start forgetting little things. What day it was, what you were doing before you fell in, what your room looked like. The sound of your own house. The longer you are there, the more normal the backroom starts to feel, and that might be the scariest part. A personal item gives your brain something to hold on to, something that says, I had a life before this. That matters, because if you start believing the backrooms is all there is, you are basically already halfway gone. Keep the item somewhere safe. Do not trade it. Do not leave it behind. Do not use it as a marker. And if you ever find it sitting in the middle of a hallway when you know it was in your pocket a second ago, do not run toward it. That means something took it. And if something took it, it understands what it means to you. That is not random. That is targeted. So here is the survival kit I would actually want. A quiet backpack, a small flashlight, backup batteries, a marker or chalk, rope, first aid supplies, almond water, simple snacks, a notebook, a phone but used carefully, a practical defensive tool, good clothes and shoes, something to trade, and one personal item to keep your head straight. None of this guarantees you escape. That is the uncomfortable truth. You could pack perfectly and still end up in a level that does not care. You could make every smart choice and still open the wrong door. The backrooms is unfair like that. But a good survival kit gives you more chances, more time to think, more ways to avoid panic, more ways to recover from mistakes. And in a place where one bad decision can get you erased, more chances matter. The real goal is not to become some fearless backrooms legend. The goal is to stay quiet, stay aware, and stay human long enough to find a way out. Now I want to know what you would bring. If you had 10 seconds before falling into the backrooms, what is the first thing you would grab? A flashlight, almond water, a weapon, your phone, or something personal? Drop it in the comments because I already know some of you are surviving and some of you are eating the level fun cake immediately. If you want more survival guides, entity files, level breakdowns, and lost wanderer stories, subscribe to Backrooms Vault. We are going deeper every week. And remember, if you ever find a backpack in the backrooms that already has your name written on the tag, leave it closed.